The Doomslayer, a legend in gaming history whose strength rings throughout generations, a machine of death, a monster, a warrior to end all warriors, the ultimate threat to all beasts and evils who oppose him, a figure so powerful and so dangerous, hell itself fears him. This is with good reason. Once a man, he miraculously survived the initial invasions by hell of Phobos, Deimos, and Earth through sheer human will and determination. A man who would willingly stay in hell for eternity if he had to ensure that the forces of hell would never rise again. During this time, he would be given the honor to be blessed by a being known as the Seraphim, with extreme strength, resilience, and speed. Thus, he would begin his crusade to crumble the very foundations of hell itself. Just when he was about to succeed in this, however, he was defeated and sealed away forever, never to rise again. After that, we all know what happens in 2016 and Eternal, assuming you've played them. With the protagonist so strong and overpowered, it's easy to believe that he may be one of the most outrageously overpowered characters in gaming history. But think, there's no way he can be the only one. There's plenty of other game characters who I believe are Doomslayers in their own rights. Characters who overcome impossible odds and defeat insanely strong enemy forces with abilities and mindsets so inhuman, it's hard to think of many others that could stand on the pedestal with Doomguy. But in this video, I want to focus on three main characters, and I think that they could be good candidates to stand shoulder to shoulder with the Doomslayer himself. It is important to note that these are my picks, and if you have any others that you think are good, feel free to leave them in the comments below. What other characters do you think could stand shoulder to shoulder with the Doomslayer? Let's begin. The first character we will be discussing is Kratos from the God of War series. Kratos, as we know, possesses inhuman strength and combat prowess combined with the power of being a demigod. And like the Doomslayer, has taken down entire institutions such as Mount Olympus, where he brought Zeus to his knees, and even 1,000 years later, dethroned Odin in his own Norse saga. Kratos dispatches his enemies often brutally and in very violent fashions, some of which are not possible by normal human means, such as, ripping off the head of Helios. Overpowering huge creatures from Hades, such as the Minotaurs. And sometimes he loses it and does things like this. Kratos' main weapon is his Blades of Chaos, which were granted to him by Ares when he begged for victory on the battlefield in exchange for his life to become Ares' loyal servant. And if we look at the recent titles in the series, such as God of Boy, we can see the awesome addition of the Leviathan axe given to him by his late wife. Though Kratos does not use guns like the Doomslayer, it does one good to note that he is just as deadly and efficient with his weapons as is the Doomguy, especially when we see his skill with the spear, like in God of War Ragnarok. This makes sense given his Spartan heritage. Kratos is also very skilled in unarmed combat, which I think the best example showing this is God of Boy, where we see him take on Thor's brother, Baldur. And let's not forget, he actually hit Heimdall.
You actually hit me!
Also, let's not forget that Kratos has killed his share of gods and titans as well. Kratos single-handedly killed every god on Olympus, killed several titans, killed the Fates, killed the Furies, and took down Zeus's entire empire. So all in all, Kratos has godlike abilities, superhuman strength, achieved insane athletic feats such as climbing the mountain of Pandora for 3 days straight with his bare hands, has killed gods and titans and overturned the entire foundation of a pantheon. Who else do we know has done this? That's right, the Doomslayer. The Doomslayer not only has killed demons, titans, and gods, but also overturned an entire religious institution by destroying the Dark Lord and ending the Maker's cult. Not to mention that just like Kratos, the Slayer possesses certain supernatural powers such as healing and the use of otherworldly weapons that are otherwise not meant to be wielded by mortal hands. So, in the end, when it comes to battle experience, strength, and sheer anger, I think that Kratos is a perfect fit to stand next to the Doom guy. But what about someone who isn't a god? Or an immortal being, for that matter? The child was born in an Earth colony on a planet named K2L. It's assumed that Earth is gone by this point in the future. On a horrible, fateful night, her parents and the very planet she stood on was ravaged by an intergalactic terrorist organization calling themselves the Space Pirates, led by their ruthless leader, Ridley. Only the child survived the invasion, rescued by the Chozo, an alien race resembling half bird and half man. She was taken to their homeworld of Zebes, where they infused her with their DNA and raised her to be a great warrior. The Chozo granted her with a modified version of their own battlesuits that they wore in their own wars, and when she reached adulthood, she would join the Federation police and become the legendary bounty hunter, now known as Samus Aran. Like the Doomslayer, Samus possesses inhuman athletic abilities, not only granted to her by her power suit, but also by her intense training and Chozo DNA. The suit allows her to be protected in many harsh environments, such as the vacuum of space, deep underwater, and even in areas where the heat reaches over thousands of degrees. Doomguy, on the other hand, uses his armor to absorb Argent and convert it into energy and ammunition, as well as it offering a little bit of protection, but he doesn't rely on it as much as Samus does. Samus's weapons include her arm cannon, which can fire a plethora of different devastating projectiles, including energy beams, missiles, and even ice and plasma. The suit she wears also allows her to transform her body into pure soul energy and turn her armor into a ball, otherwise known as the Morph Ball. While in this Morph Ball form, Samus can drop two types of weapons, Morph Ball bombs and Morph Ball power bombs. Samus not only possesses sheer strength and agility, but is constantly able to keep a level head and always uses her abilities to help others, no doubt influenced by the injustice she faced on her home planet as a child. Samus became to be known as the hero of the galaxy and a protector to all. But don't you dare piss her off. Samus might not tear her enemies apart piece by piece like Kratos and Doomslayer do, but she does have a lot of built-up rage and pent-up aggression within her. Another issue no doubt stemming from her childhood trauma. This motivates her on her vendetta against the space pirates. It was, after all, their fault that her parents died in the first place. Samus, in her lifetime and career as a bounty hunter, has faced off against many titans of her own. From the monstrous reptilian Kraid to the towering mighty Quadraxis, and last but not least, Ridley himself, who even as a reoccurring character by Metroid Dread said, "Yeah, fuck that, I'm done. I'm gonna sit this one out, guys." So let's review. Rage. Check. Killing massive enemies using your inhuman strength and agility. Check. Overthrowing an establishment. Bye-bye, space pirates. When it comes to actually facing the Slayer, I'm not really sure who would win this one. It seems like it can go both ways. But, as a team, Doomguy and Samus would be unstoppable. Nintendo, I think you guys got a Doomslayer on your hands. Well, we've met demigods, we've met demons, we've even met half-human, half-bird person alien people. But what about just a normal human being in a really fucked up situation? A member of Raccoon City Police Force's elite unit known as the Special Tactics and Rescue Service, or STARS, Jill Valentine's foray into Doomslayerism didn't start with an evil satanic cult, a betrayal by the gods, or even a horrific child backstory. When her team Alpha went looking for Bravo Team in the forests of the Arcalay Mountains, it was supposed to be a standard search and rescue, as was per her job. But this night would turn out to be anything but standard.
We just got a letter, we just got a letter, we just got a letter. Wonder who it's from?
Well, shit. Better run to the mansion. Miraculously, despite her fears and ignorance to the true nature of the situation that surrounds her, Jill's need for survival and her feelings of compassion and bravery towards her comrades makes her well worth her status as an elite police officer. She puts everyone else first. She's just a normal person trying to escape a horrible situation who wants to help her friends survive as well. She's you. She's me. The small amount of pocket space in her uniform forces her to become especially resourceful. Unlike our other protagonists in this video, the lack of resources Jill is forced to deal with often makes her have to think twice about shooting a zombie or just avoiding it, which is conducive to strong tactical mind over physical power. So in a way, Jill has faced her own demons. Her demons being the zombies and hunters in the Spencer Mansion. I don't know about you, but if I was in that situation, I'd be struck with fear and having little to no idea what to do. Jill knows exactly how to survive in extreme situations due to her training and her overall just being a genius. She's able to mix scientific potions to help her destroy her enemies and is a lock-picking master. After escaping the Spencer Mansion and attempting to uncover Umbrella's corruption, Umbrella would send in the Nemesis into Raccoon City during the zombie outbreak in an attempt to track down the surviving STAR members and shut them up for good. This, I think, is Jill's Titan. Imagine, the entire city you live in is burning down, people are turning into rabid flesh-eating zombies, and all the while, fucking Herman Munster is chasing you around with a rocket launcher. That's okay, I'll hide in the truck. Jill defeated the Nemesis in multiple forms, the biggest being its final stage taking up an entire room. Using a giant railgun located in the nest, Jill put down the Nemesis for good and escaped Raccoon City with the mission on her mind to uncover Umbrella's horrible truths and spread the word of its wrongdoings to the entire world. Yes, Jill doesn't rip her enemies to pieces and doesn't have superhuman strength or agility. Unless you count her appearance in Resident Evil 5, which I'm not a big fan of and in my opinion completely ruined what made her unique. If you like it, that's fine, but it's just not my thing. In Resident Evil 5, it was revealed that Jill was captured by Albert Wesker and subjected to all sorts of experiments due to her still having remnants of the T-virus after she was infected in Raccoon City. Yes, in a way, this would count as making her less of a normal human being, but it's never been a plot point I've paid much attention to, and wasn't a really big fan of Resident Evil 5 to begin with. While I'm not denying this is a part of her story, I will acknowledge that I'm just not the right person to talk about it. Jill's candidacy for Doomslayer, in my opinion, comes from her strong mind and quick wit and the ability to survive in extreme situations without constant use of violent force. I think Jill represents what a real human Doomslayer would be. So there we have it. 3 characters that I think are good candidates for Doomslayers in their own ways. Now, I could go on about Isaac Clarke from Dead Space, or Talset from the Turok series, or even Master Chief from Halo, all of which are also contenders for Doomslayers, but these are the ones that I love the most and would love to see as a team together. As I stated in the beginning of the video, these are only my picks. I hope you really enjoyed watching this video. I had a lot of fun making it. Again, if there are any characters you think could be contenders for Doomslayer, let me know in the comments. This is Dubbag, and I'll see you next mission.